So, Virgo, the first card you have for your past is the Eight of Cups. So obviously this is the card of walking away. This could be about someone who you've already walked away from or distanced yourself from. I'm not seeing that you're around this person. What I'm seeing is that you weren't around this person at this time. You'd walked away from this person, or you weren't together with whoever this was. This is probably a relationship, a romantic connection. They were still thinking about you. They were still watching you, and they were feeling very, very emotional. What I'm seeing in this card is, yeah, they still had very, very strong feelings for you. They still weren't quite over this. If you look at this card, there's a wall of cups representing a wall of emotions. Now, there are 3 cups on the top of this wall, and there's a gap between the ones on the right hand side. So there's a gap in between, and you can see the man in between the gap walking away. So this person feels very emotional. They felt emotional at this time. They were thinking about you in a very emotional way. They were looking through their emotions, looking through their emotional wall at you, watching you walk away and feeling very, very sad, very emotional, very upset about that. Now, they weren't physically watching you. They weren't around you physically anymore. But what I'm seeing is they were probably watching you, maybe on social media, maybe looking at your pictures, maybe looking at anything you have to say on there. They might have even been asking other people around you. So they were seeing you through other people, seeing you through pictures, whatever else there is, whatever you had on social media. They were seeing you through a kind of a wall, kind of a veil. They weren't seeing you face to face, and they were seeing the back of you. So they were really, really upset, thinking about you. And yeah, I am seeing them watching you on social media actually. So I'm not seeing anything dangerous. Don't be worried about this. This is just someone feeling really anxious while they were thinking about you, while they're watching you, watching what you're doing. Excuse me, that's what I'm seeing with that card. So the next card you have for your past is the Page of Swords. So yes, the Page of Swords, this is another, excuse me, sorry about that. So yes, the Page of Swords is obviously another card that can indicate someone watching you, someone spying on you, that kind of thing. It means that sometimes. So whoever this is probably isn't, yeah, they're probably not a very mature person either. That's what I'm seeing. I'm going to get a lot of angry comments from cross-watchers. I can see that already. Don't be angry. But yes, I can see that you had a few conversations with this person before you separated from them. They weren't very mature conversations. I'm seeing you probably had a lot of arguments with this person. And something came to light as well. Something came to light. You found out something about them, and they were very, very defensive. Look at this page with his sword up. He's very defensive. He's on the defense. They were trying to argue their case, this person I'm seeing. So you saw what happened. You kind of confronted them. You said, look, this is what happened. I'm not happy with it, or whatever you said. And they were making all kinds of silly excuses. That's why I'm seeing this immaturity in this. They might have said, oh, no, I wasn't there on that time. I was with someone else. I was with, I was with James on that day. And you knew that James might have been sitting right next to you or talking to you on the phone, or you might have seen them somewhere else, and you knew they weren't with that person. It might have been something like that. And even though you said to them, look, I know that's not true, they still kept on arguing that it was, even though it was ridiculous. So that's that kind of immaturity I was seeing around this person, arguing, all of that kind of thing. And I'm also seeing at this time that you might have known, you might have felt that this person might be or might have been watching you on social media, or speaking about you, or asking other people around you. So there was a little bit of vulnerability. You are feeling a little bit vulnerable. If you look at this page, there's a lot of wind blowing around. He's up on a hill by himself. He has no kind of shelter or anything around him stopping the wind blowing him around. So a little bit of vulnerability, but it wasn't too bad. You weren't too kind of stressed about this. I think you kind of knew that's what they might have been doing. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your past is the 9 of Pentacles. So there's a lot of contentment in this card. So you did have this little sense of vulnerability. You knew this person might be doing this. Of course, you're not going to feel very content or easy about what they were doing. But in every other way, your life was a lot more content since you'd gotten away from that person. So, of course, nothing's ever perfect. You're not, jumping over the moon 24 hours a day. But you were just a lot more content, a lot more comfortable by yourself. You were starting to kind of live your life by yourself, put things, have things around you that you liked. Maybe you were eating food that this person didn't like and now you do. And you're just kind of doing your own thing by yourself and coming to kind of realize that actually this is quite good. I quite enjoy this being by myself. So this is like the calm after a storm with all these arguments and upheavals. That's what I'm seeing in this card. So, yes, the first card you have for your present is, yes, the Tower. So, you are calm, you're content. That's what I'm seeing in the Nine of Pentacles. You like being on your own. Not that you want to be on your own forever, but it's kind of a nice break from all of the horrible arguing and crazy stuff that was going on. And yes, you are content. As I say, nobody's ever in a perfect place all of the time. This Tower is definitely about them. So this is this person. They were constantly thinking about you. I'm seeing at this time with the Tower, they're coming to this realization that this just isn't going to work. There's no point in dreaming. There's no point in hoping. There's no point in spying on you. There's no point in pursuing you, even if it's just pursuing you behind the scenes or in their mind or talking to people about you. There's no point in going over and over this in their mind, feeling this anxiety, feeling this longing that they had toward you and all of these emotions. I'm seeing there were no actual true foundations behind this Tower, or beneath this Tower, I should say. And I'm seeing people were probably telling this person this. They're probably saying to them, look, just move on from this. Try to move on. Don't spy on them. Don't ask after them. Don't talk about them. I know it's hard for you, but really this was based on nothing. If you did get back together with them again, it really wouldn't work. That's what I'm seeing people telling them. But, even though they had all these people telling them this, they had to come to this realization by themselves. There's nothing, people could say this over and over again and they just wouldn't listen because their emotions are in the way. Of course, your emotions are going to be there and you can't really do much about them until time helps with that. That's all. But they are coming to this realization by themselves with this Tower. And, I'm seeing they've come into this realization, or they're going to say to them, right, okay, I realise this isn't going to work. I'm just going to have to move on. Now, that doesn't mean they're suddenly happy and everything's fine. They're still going to be going through a process. It's going to take them some time to get over this. But this is the beginning of this process for them. They're going to actually be a bit quiet for a while now after they've had this kind of revelation with the Tower. I'm seeing, you might not hear anything from them. You might get the sense that they're not spying on you anymore, or they're not around you anymore, or they're not thinking about you anymore. You get the sense about them, and this is going to go away at this time because I'm seeing they're just going to go into themselves for a while. They're going to start to sort through everything, process everything in their mind. That's what I'm seeing. They might even literally, physically go away for a while somewhere completely different and be on their own. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your present is the Moon. So yes, this is this process that they're going through after this realization. They are going to feel a lot better eventually. They are going to get their confidence back eventually. And I know this is probably an ex, and you might not be interested in their confidence, but I'm saying that you probably are. You're a good person. You care about other people. And excuse me, when they do eventually get their confidence back, which they will, obviously this is going to be better for them. This is going to be better for everyone around them as well. And it's going to be better for people who aren't around them, like you, because they're not going to keep on spying on you or asking after you. So everyone's going to feel a lot better after they've kind of been through this process and settled down. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your present is the Five of Wands. So sometimes this is the messy card with all sorts of mess. I'm seeing this is about competition. That's what I'm seeing in this card. I'm not seeing obvious competition. I'm not seeing someone coming to you and saying, I'm better than you, I'm going to get better than you at this. It's not that obvious. It's more subtle. That's what I'm seeing. I am seeing family around this card. This competition might be coming from two people. I'm seeing people talking about their own achievements, their own or their possessions or things like that. I'm just seeing a couple of people sitting there. This is your family, some people in your family, and they're saying, oh, I bought this house, I bought this car, I bought this new designer watch or something, I've had a promotion, I'm like this, all of that kind of thing, on and on and on. Now, you're content. I'm seeing that in the Nine of Pentacles. You don't need this competition. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. That's what I'm seeing. And you're not buying into this either. This is very superficial. It's very subtle, but you're backing away. You're removing yourself from this. I think a while ago, maybe you could have fallen into some of these competitive conversations with these people. Not in the way of that you were trying to compete with them, but they might have made you feel a bit bad, a bit like you weren't quite good enough, or that you kind of felt like they were kind of judging you, that kind of thing. But now at this time, you're so much more confident, you're so much more content. You don't really care what they have to say. You don't really care if they think they're better than you, worse than you, whatever else. And, look at this card. Everyone's battling, but there's no winner. So you don't want to win this. You don't care who wins this. There's no winning in this. And, you just want to keep focusing on yourself. You're more or less, you're very peaceful by yourself, in yourself. You just don't need this. So you're walking away from this. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your future is the Hermit. So yes, this is more self-preservation, more self-help, all of that kind of thing. You're keeping away from this competition. You're keeping to yourself. That's what I'm seeing in the Hermit. You're going to be going through a kind of a time of self-reflection, a time of introspection. Now, you're a very thoughtful person. You're a very self-aware person. Now, I'm seeing that you already started this time of self-reflection and self-awareness before this time. So you might have started this a long time ago. Maybe when you first separated from this person in the Eight of Cups, that might be when you started this process. And that's why I'm seeing that you're a lot farther along emotionally and mentally than this ex. They were struggling quite a lot. They missed you, they were thinking about you, they were anxious, they're emotional, everything else. Now, you were like that, and then you kind of helped yourself out of that. You went through the process. So you were further along than they were, and you are still further along than they are. But now, they're going through this process themselves now. They're on the right road now, which is a good thing. So that's what I'm seeing there. So the next card you have for your future is the Eight of Wands. I'm seeing messages in this card. This might be text messages. This might be emails, something like that. I'm seeing there's someone who you might have lost contact with a long time ago. You might have been very close to this person. And you were thinking for a long time about whether you should contact this person. And you might have even composed what you wanted to say mentally. You might have even written it down manually, or you might have texted it in something and thought about it and rewritten things. You really were very anxious about making this contact or sending this message to this person. And for a long time, you weren't in the right frame of mind to do that. I'm seeing now, at this time in your future, this is a perfect time for you to contact this person if this is what you're going to do. You're in a much better place emotionally. You're in a much stronger place. You're in a much more content place at this time. And I'm seeing that if you had sent these messages before, your instincts stop you from doing that because you knew that it was the wrong time for you to do that. They wouldn't have been received well because the way that you composed these things wouldn't have been right because of your frame of mind. But now at this time, you're going to be in a much better frame of mind. You're going to be able to compose this properly. You're going to be able to say what you need to say in a very good way, and it's going to come across very well to them. And I'm seeing that they're going to respond very well to this message. And I'm seeing that it's perfect timing for them because they might not have been receptive before, but now at this time they are going to be receptive. They're going to listen to your message and they're going to contact you back, and I'm seeing you getting back into contact with this person again. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your future is Strength. So yes, there was a lot of stress. There was a lot of stress around this message for a long, long time for you. I'm seeing a lot of kind of backwards and forwards in your head with this message for a long time. Procrastination, thinking to yourself, oh, I won't do this now. Will I do it now? No, I won't. Now, you're right to stop yourself from doing that. You're right to stop yourself from doing that because you weren't in the right place to do it. And now you are. You're a lot stronger. With this lion, you're a lot calmer because this woman is taming this lion. She's keeping it calm. That's what I'm seeing. And, you've worked toward this. You've been through this process in the Hermit card, and now you're at a much better place. And I'm seeing this timing's perfect with this message, and the composition of this message is going to be very, very good, and it's going to be well received. That's what I'm seeing.